Hey, how's everyone doing today? I got my two quotes ready to talk about. First one in section 5.2.2. The authors say by paying attention to what a culture values, you can learn important clues about how to adapt your communications so that you respond appropriately to others' communication, establish relationships, and avoid making embarrassing errors. I have a great example of this. In the Korean culture, when you're speaking to an elder, you must always speak formally no matter the situation. And there are two different actually three or four different types of language, correctness, or best way to put it is how you speak to people. There's different ways in Korea. And what I'm talking about in Korea, if you're born a day before someone, you are considered their elder. So that's how you gotta look at it. And another thing in the Korean culture, if you're drinking with someone older than you, or an elder, however you want to put it, you take your drink, you turn your head, and then you drink. You do not drink directly in front of them. So that's something, if you don't know the culture and you do that, you might end up embarrassing yourself, making a big mistake, and wind up hurting your company if that's in that situation. The second one is, in the introduction, the author stated, effective leaders have the ability to assess how people are different and adapt their communications to fit the unique needs of the individual. This is something that most people can't do, but they need to learn it. The reason why I say it's hard to learn is because as individuals we have our own style of communicating. In some cases, the way we communicate to one person might be offensive to something else. Now, I have a story about that too. When I was in the Air Force, I had two airmen, and one day one of them came up to me and asked me, "Why do you yell at me when I do something wrong?" and pull the other airman aside and talk to them, more nicely or more cordial, however you want to put it. And I told him, "I know I can yell at you, and you won't take it the wrong way. But the other person, I need to talk to them instead of yelling at them because I understood their personalities." That's the thing. I understood how he would react. I understood if I yelled at him, he'd crawl into his little shell and, not be productive at work. But the other one, I was like, I could just yell at him, "Hey, you messed up. Why'd you do that?" But the other one, I had to pull him aside, sit down, explain to him what he did wrong and how he should work at how to fix it. Now, in chapter 6, in section 6.1, the authors bring up the phrase managing up. They describe it as when subordinates first identify their manager's goals, strengths, and weaknesses and preferred working style and adapt their communications to meet the needs of their messages. Here's something that can really backfire in a workplace. Some people might look at it as like, "Oh, that guy's always over there kissing up, brown nosing, to the manager and could cause more problems." So that's when, it's almost like a double-edged sword. Yeah, learn about your management style, learn your manager styles, but also be aware that other people might look at it as something that's, that guy's always kissing ass to the manager, but in reality they're not. So just be careful on when you do something like that, and explain to your coworkers, "Hey, I'm just trying to make my life a little bit better by learning what the manager style is. Maybe we can get together and we can all work this out and find ways that we can all improve the way we understand what the managers are trying to tell us." Now in section 6.3, successful managers understand that work gets done through relationships. This is true. That's why it's important as a manager you get to know your employees, but not just on a work level. You need to get to understand them, on a personal level. If they have family, they have kids, learn the birthdays. I used to say, hey, today's your kid's birthday. You know, why don't you take the rest half the day off and go celebrate it? You know, they appreciate that when you know what their life is about outside of work. It's great, and it helps in building relationships with your employees. So if you have something that needs to be done and you don't, they'll say, okay, I'll do it. I understand it needs to be done. Instead of going, oh my God, I got to work late. I got to do this. So understanding your employees and working with them and getting to know them on a personal level is something everyone should do. And thank you and have a good day.